Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Chop of History this week. DP and I both are finally back in the shop today. I have been on a whirlwind trip. I can't even tell you where, everywhere. So it's good to be back in the shop. Here's the gang that I rode with to Bisbee, Arizona, to the Prowl. If you guys haven't been there, which I'm assuming most East Coasters haven't, it was a really cool show. If you want to put it on your radar for next year. I also want to mention if any of you guys are looking for Perowitz shirts or hats, you can go over to CompD. Competition Distributing, they have them on sale over there. Let me see, here's the link, competitiondist.com. They sell our shirts and hats, so if you guys are looking for one, go over there to get one of our shirts and hats. I also want to mention the Kyle Petty ride. So that is my next adventure. If you guys want to follow along, if you go to kylepettycharityride.com, you can see where we're going to be stopping. We start and finish in Salt Lake City and do a huge loop. So if any of you guys are in that area, come on out to see us ride.
We want to thank Indian Motorcycles and Law Tigers for sponsoring Chop of History. We couldn't do it without their help. So thank you very much. And we want to thank all our listeners. We see usually a lot of the same names every week and when we go to events, I have a lot of people come up to me and tell me how much they love listening to Chop of History.
Yeah, and so this past weekend we were at the Donnie Smith show, and I had several people come up to me. You too?
Yeah, no, I did too. Yeah, Donnie Smith show was great. It's a great show. It's like the thing that opens up the Midwest riding season. It's really not riding, but the season per se. Plus, it was Donnie Smith's 81st birthday. Donnie's 81, still going strong. He's at work every day, still riding. I hope I make it to 81 doing the same things Donnie's doing.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be still in the shop.
Yeah.
Versus anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah, it was a really good show. And if any of you guys haven't been to it, you should. It's one of the last indoor shows. I can't think of any other indoor show.
It's a big indoor show, and they have a great swap meet too. I look forward to the swap meet myself. I get there first thing Friday morning when it opens up and run through it, and I usually find some trinkets, and people say, "Well, what are you looking for?" I don't know what I'm looking for.
You'll know it when you see it.
When I see it, I'll know it, right? Anybody that's in the swap meets, basically, that's the case. A lot of times, whatever you buy, you didn't plan on buying, but you see it there, and you can't leave without it.
What did you end up buying at the swap meet? I saw you with a bag.
Yeah. I spent a total of $100.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's okay.
I bought a PM caliper, an early Sportster lower rear fender mount, and
such random.
A 1970 Sportster manual, because I'm building a 70 Sportster boat tail. Pretty rare bike, and it's going to be all original. So we're putting that, that's in the works. We're not putting it together yet. I'm still, the motor is down at my friend Wayne Lofton's, and Wayne is putting the motor together.
Is 70 a unique year? Was the manual only 70?
Well, yeah, the manual was only 70, which, I've got plenty of Sportster manuals, but I don't have one that's specifically 70. And not that I really need one, but,
it's good for reference.
For, just different little things. But, I've got a 70 Sportster. I picked up a boat tail. It's not going to be a numbers matching bike, but it's going to be a pretty cool bike, because you don't ever see Sportster boat tails. You see a lot of big twin boat tails, but not Sportsters.
All right. So today's guest is Warren Lane. So let's just get right to it and bring him on.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Warren.
Hey, Warren.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Well, thank you. Nice and warm down here. It's like
yeah. What's the temperature there?
Oh, I don't know. It's like 80 something. It's hot.
kidding.
That's warm.
Nice. I guess you don't need heat in your shop, huh?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you need AC though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never conditioning.
Yeah.
it was warm here. Not yesterday. The day before it was like 60s.
Yeah.
But
Today
it's
it's in the
cold.
mid-30s.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
Look
know.
at- Huh? It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I see you got. It looks like you got a lot going on in your shop there.
Yeah, I always have a lot going on. There's some choppers over there
Yeah.
working on.
I see you got your favorite bike right there in the middle, Lou Falsigno's old bike, huh?
Yeah. So I was gonna say, let's get right to that bike. Here it is.
Yeah. It's kind of where it stays unless I need to move it for right now.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Hey, what's up? What are your floors? Your floors look pretty cool. What's the deal?
Epoxy. Epoxy.
Oh, it's all epoxy?
Yeah, it looks nice and all, but it's not very tool friendly.
Oh, really?
It's hard and if you drop something it chips it.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us about this bike because you recently acquired it, correct?
Yeah. Well, you guys know about that bike. That bike was in the Easy Riders in 1992 and it really got my attention. I used to have it on the wall. I had a Corvette shop back then. And I always liked that bike. And then he was local, kind of. He was at Fort Pierce, so he was only 100 miles away. And he used to have bike shows at his shop. I remember when I was just a kid, I went up and saw that bike, and I saw the Easy Rider shows. And then the bike got sold a few times, and I was always trying to get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But it's nice when they come back to you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it didn't. I never had it. It was
Yeah.
always beyond my grasp, but I got it this time.
Yeah.
where did you end up buying it from?
Who?
Like no local or where?
Yeah, from a friend of mine. He had it for 24 years.
Oh wow.
I got the title was December 1999.
What made him sell it?
I don't
You
know.
pushing him?
I don't know. I've been driving him crazy. Everybody's been wanting it, and everybody knew not everybody, but some people knew he had it, and I don't know. He just decided to sell it. I didn't ask. I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. I was afraid he's gonna change his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, you must have known Lou, right?
Yeah, I didn't know him that well, but I met him a couple times, and then after he closed the shop, somebody gave me his number, and I called him up 2 different times. I went up there, and he was selling me T-shirts and anything I wanted out of the place.
Yeah.
There was a whole shelf full of Streeter gas tanks. I wish I would have bought them.
Oh, yeah. No
Oh,
kidding.
that's cool.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. In 1990 was the very first Easy Rider bike show. It was on the Queen Mary in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And so I went to that show, and I ended up spending me and Lou and Dave Mann, the three of us spent a whole night solving world problems in my cabin.
Oh yeah.
We saw the sun come up. But yeah, Lou was a character. I always liked talking to him. I'd get together with him, in Daytona each year. And I really got to know him that night we spent down on the Queen Mary.
They used to have a show out there by the Queen. The LA Calendar show was there. They don't have that anymore? I guess not.
I don't know if they have that anymore. I don't think the LA Calendar show was outside.
Yeah.
The Easy Rider show was actually inside.
Oh yeah.
The Queen Mary.
Huh.
Sorry, what would Facebook Live be like without DP's phone ringing?
Yeah, right.
Oh, that was the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you found any old bikes lately?
Yeah, there's always a bunch around. I don't know if there's any I'm working on getting right now or not. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, you always seem to come up with the cool old shit.
Yeah, I bought a bunch. I bought like probably 15 or 20 motorcycles since last August.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I knew what was going to happen with the economy because when I was a kid, I used to deal Corvettes in the 80s, and the same thing happened. The recession and inflation, and I remember you couldn't buy cars that you could buy like just a year or two before. There was so much more money.
Yeah.
A little bit of money. And I bought some bikes, and I had two friends that had money, and they saw what I was doing, and they said, buy some more.
Yeah.
So I bought some.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, you're a motorcycle guy, and you know motorcycles, and you know what they're worth. And, it's like myself, you can't really lose on buying this old stuff, no matter.
Not right things.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a matter of
Yeah.
how long you want to sit on it.
yeah, and usually you don't have to sit on them for very long.
But right now, if that's what you're trying to do, inflation's your friend.
Right.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna buy things that in 2 years you're gonna be wishing you had bought things because it's gonna be crazy difference in price.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. So have you got any old stuff for sale right now?
I have a 65 that I have. It's on eBay. A 65 California police bike I want to sell.
Yeah.
And I think that's about. I have a 41 knucklehead chopper that sometimes I want to sell, but it's on eBay. But it's gonna end tomorrow. I don't think I really want to sell it. It
Yeah.
was Freddie's uncle bought it in
Oh,
1969
yeah.
for $100.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put it for sale, but everyone doesn't want to give me what I want for it, so I don't think I want to sell it.
Yeah. Is is eBay working out good for you for that stuff?
Yeah, eBay. Well, it's a worldwide market, so it
Yeah.
helps. Actually, the Japanese were buying stuff, and people in Europe, the exchange rate is crazy, but they were buying it. And I asked them because usually it's a big function of the exchange rate. When the dollar's weak is when they come and buy.
Yeah.
And now it's the other way around. And they said they're still buying because of what I just explained to you, that they're not going to be able to buy stuff later for this price. So I
Yeah.
was surprised. It's never really happened to me before when the exchange rate has been the dollar has been strong, that they're coming and still buying. So
Yeah.
I've been my life. I used to do Corvettes and then now motorcycles, but I always understand the pace, international markets. It's a
Yeah.
function of exchange rate.
Yeah. Huh. So what's your next event down in your way?
I don't know. I don't go too much. I don't know. I'm going to come up your way to Connecticut. I'm going to see Dan Toast. I'm going to develop some parts with him
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
when you're
cool.
coming up.
in the summer, maybe in June or July.
Oh, you should let us know. You should come up for Laconia.
Okay.
That's in June.
That's why I told Eileen. I know there's some events at that time. Like, I'm going to bring Cash and Eileen and
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, we're just talking about this week. We're going to plan the calendar.
Yeah, Dan is only
Maybe
less than 2 hours from
I
me.
should say 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think
And
everything at New England. It's
Yeah.
close.
I keep every time I see Dan, it's like, when are you gonna come down? When are you gonna come down? And we do our bike nights. Dan told me he's gonna come here to our bike nights this summer.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
if you come up for Laconia, our bike night's right after.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
the
Wednesday
Wednesday
after Laconia. Yeah.
Which this year it falls perfect.
Yeah.
It's actually on the third
Oh,
Wednesday.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all you guys listening local, first bike night is going to be the third Wednesday of June. And then same thing, June, July, and August, it's the third Wednesday of the month for all you guys local. So Warren, tell us what do you got going on in your shop? What are some of these choppers you get?
Well, the closest one, that's an Indian Larry frame that I'm doing for a friend of mine. Well, I did it a long time ago and built it with a knucklehead, and then he took it out and put it in something else and sold it. And then the orange bike in the background was my bike way back in '95, and that was like right before we even had Choppers Inc. I made that wheel, and that was a Chopper Guy's frame, and then I sold it to the guy who owns Indian Larry bike, which is Alex, and he used to drive the Choppers Inc. trailer all around for the Easy Rider shows.
Oh, yeah.
And so he just told me that he wanted to take the motor out and put the other motor in it. So I bought the chassis, the whole rolling bike, except for the motor back from him, and I put a knuckle motor in it. That's what that is.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
And then the middle one is the hood ride. I had that in October. You saw it at Tosi's, and I sold that to Freddie. So I just took the motor out to rebuild it and finish it, and that's what's getting done right there. And then over it's this way. That's the Lou's bike, which you already saw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you have many old bikes? Like this one was so iconic.
Yeah, well, I own it, but it's still here in Miami. My friend owns it.
Such a cool bike.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bike happened. It was never supposed to be a show bike or anything. It just evolved.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. That's usually what happens, though. They evolve.
Actually, the first bike, the FTP bike, that bike was 6 inches up and 45-degree stretch. I built that rolling chassis for somebody else, and then he never finished it, and then sold to this guy, and that guy wanted me to take all the rake and stretch back out of it, so I did all that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big. That was a chopperized. It was like a Swedish style chopper frame,
Oh yeah.
and then I took it all back down.
How about this one?
That is the Speed Demon. That was the Atlas frame, and that bike I was building for a guy, and he was real short. He was only like 5'3", and he couldn't reach the pedals, so I dropped the seat.
Oh,
And
it's cool.
the way I dropped the seat is I just took that's like a chrome Harley crash bar. I cut the sections out and I welded in the frame. That's how I dropped the seat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that bike's fun to ride. That bike's like you ride in it. Like people can't. It's kind of dangerous because people can't see you on the street.
Because you're
Yeah.
so low.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Permanent maneuver is good.
yeah, and it's 98 inches too. It's a 98-inch S&S Evo when they used to make them. It's fast.
Yeah.
So I think that well, I know you do other stuff besides motorcycles. Weren't you big into airplanes?
Yeah, I like airplanes. I don't do work like maintenance or repair. I do like special fabrication or take aircraft that have been sitting static in the desert for a long time and make them fly again. But there's not really any opportunities. All those aircraft that you can make money on, there's either no longer make sense to make money or else they're all gone.
Yeah.
And you can find them all by Google Earth. It's not like you can hide them in a garage or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the planes I was doing was old aircraft cargo, military cargo that are big reciprocating piston, big 18-cylinder engines.
Yeah.
That technology is it's pretty much obsolete. They cost so much more to operate, and they only have like some niche markets that make sense where the cost of bringing a jet in doesn't make sense. So they still do that, or else it has to be something like Hurricane where it's rough terrain. But to make money all the time, it's not. It's just they're obsolete.
Yeah.
yeah, I was talking to Brian Helm, and he was stopping at an airplane graveyard that I guess you and him went to.
Oh, he went with us for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what he said. He
We
said
had
that
a
you guys
blast.
went to a cool place, and he was
Yeah.
stopping there just in the last couple days. I
Yeah.
forget if he said he was in Arizona or New Mexico.
In Tucson.
Okay.
Yeah. That yard that yard you can see on my Instagram if you go way back. That's where I was working. It was so cool because you start working at 1 a.m. to beat the heat.
Ah.
Because we were working in the summer, so you start working at 1 a.m. and then the lighting comes up and you get to see all these different old military aircraft as the light comes up. It's just different out there in Arizona the way the light comes up over the valley and stuff.
Yeah. So are those? How did they get those aircrafts to that spot? Is it near an airport or?
So that there's Davis Moulton Air Force Base is in Tucson, and they also Tucson and Pima Air Museum is there, and then that's where all the airplanes you see on TV, all the C-130s and everything, all those junkyard, that's all in Tucson. And they used to sell, the GSA would auction planes off before up until the 80s, and they would auction them off to the public through the GSA. But what happened is there was all kinds of corruption and stuff. Somebody built an F-16 out of parts, so they stopped it. And there guys were switching paperwork, and that's what they say. That's the stories I hear. So they don't do that anymore. So the yard where I was working is directly adjacent to Davis Moulton, and they had a fence.
Ah. Okay.
The aircraft were sold out, and they were moved to the yard. And what happens is people own these yards, and then you buy the aircraft, and they rent you the yards for cheap. They rent you the yards for like $100 or $150 a month to keep your aircraft there. But then when you work on it, there's like a boatyard. They stick it to you. You got to pay $500 hours for equipment. You have to pay for surveillance. You have to hire their guys. You end up paying $75,000 a month or something like that. But that's how that works.
Ah. Would you work on aircrafts in Florida too?
Yeah, but I don't want to do maintenance. I like just to do fun jobs, exciting adventures. Yeah. I don't want to. I mean, I could do it every day here. But I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want
much more fun working on motorcycles, right?
Yeah, and I like those are fun. It's hard work. You work your ass off for a couple of weeks, but you get paid well. But it's more of an adventure. If I had to do it every day, it'd be like working on a diesel truck. I don't want to do it. Yeah. I don't really like. I'm been self-employed for a long time for a reason. I don't have any employees. It's just me.
Yeah.
So I can do what I want when I want.
Right.
So you sent me this picture. Tell us about this table. That is really cool.
Okay. That top gear is an elevator gear, and this guy who knew me from Instagram. I never met him before. He showed up at the swap meet, and he was an elevator repairman. And he came from Louisiana or something. His name is Jimmy Crackcorn. And he brought me this gear. He goes, "Hey man, I seen you, and I brought you this gear. I know you'll do something with it." And then one day I was just like in a bad mood, and things weren't going good. And that's sometimes when that happens, that's how I get out. I just start making stuff. And the bottom parts is those are aircraft engine parts from the big engines we were talking about. The
Yeah.
bottom all the way in the middle, that's the camshaft. That's how operates the lifters. If you see it goes around and see the lobes on the outside edge,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a radial engine. So everything is the center and everything spins outward. So that rotates around this way, and that's what opens the valves. And
Oh,
then the shafts are off the turbo. The long things. The one aircraft has 3 turbos, but the turbos don't drive. They don't make compression for the engine. They drive the supercharger, and those shafts that's what it is. They're PTOs.
okay.
That is really cool.
Now, how big around? How big is that? That top gear? What's the diameter of that?
24 inches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have this in your house?
It's in my house now. Actually, I'm going to bring it to my shop and give it to my friend who owns the building.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
How about this? I'm not sure. Tell me about this picture. Is that?
Oh yeah, like in 2008 when I worked on that house for a year and a half. I did that garage door, stainless steel.
Wow.
I did all kind of architectural. That's it. Like, well, back then it was like a $10 million house. It's probably twice that now. But I worked on that house for like 2 years. And so what that is those are stainless steel squares that I applied to the garage door.
Yeah.
And where, like, if you look at the bottom row, they're just squares. Stainless steel is grained. So I just reverse the grains horizontally and vertically. And then where the checkerboard is, that's the break in the door.
Okay.
Boy, that's pretty cool. So you just by simply reversing it gives it that different texture.
90 degrees, yeah. You just alter the grain. And
Yeah.
then instead of cutting with a laser, I cut them the old way with a shear.
Yeah.
Cut metal with a shear. It takes and deforms the edge a little bit and rounds it off a little bit.
Yeah.
When you know how when you stamp it, that if you look at a washer, you can tell which way a washer stamped, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that gets stamped the same way. So you have a rounded edge and a flat edge. Now you put the rounded edges facing you, so it gives it more 3D definition. It's just a little bit, but it really makes a difference in the way it looks.
Wow, that's pretty cool. How long did it take you to do that door?
Oh, just one day. Yeah, I just cut the tiles and then just glued them on, and then somebody had to come and put a heavier spring on it.
Yeah.
Just a day.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. How about this bike?
That's Ray's bike.
Yeah, I always love that bike.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So I can only upload so many pictures, and I obviously didn't get the full view of this bike, but such a cool bike. When do you think you built that?
I don't know, but it's a 2008, maybe 2009. I don't know, 2006.
It's so timeless too. Even
Yeah.
like this bike is so timeless. Like, even though you built it a long time ago, it's still so cool right now.
Yeah, thank you. That's a lot. That's all that style that David Mann and Lou and that style's. He's not the first one to do it, and I'm not. But it's just I always felt that way. It never goes away. It's always timeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like to do my bikes. Most all of them are mostly Harley Davidson parts, Harley frames and forks and everything, and that helps to go with it too because that keeps the intrinsic value.
Right. Exactly. I feel the same way. I just had a guy come in that wants me to build him an old Panhead chopper, and he brought me a picture of his Panhead chopper from 1982.
Mm-hmm.
And it's timeless. I'm going to build him the same thing.
Yeah.
That it's going to be a little more modernized, but it'll be a pan chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's kind of cool is it shows what a small world it is. So one of the guys that works for us part-time, the customer that came in brought in pictures of this bike that he had. And one of the guys that works for us like, I know that bike. And he was able to go home and find old pictures of that bike that he knew when the
previous owner had it.
Yeah.
Back in the late 70s, He says, "Yeah, this is the same bike right here." He recognized the bike, you know.
I know there are people at Willie's were coming up and showing me pictures of this yellow bike, and that's before it even was iPhones, but they still had pictures of it on their iPhone, and they're
Yeah,
telling me these stories about, like you're telling me, seeing the sun come up with Louis and
yeah,
all this stuff. It's like
yeah,
crazy. Some bikes just is that way.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I know that when I saw this bike at Willie's, I noticed how good the paint was. The paint's still in really good shape, which Bill Streeta did it, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Did
The bike, it was really dirty when I got it. The tag, it had been sitting in the garage since 2010, but I just went through it and cleaned it. I still have some more things I want to do. We talked about you painting the fender. I got one up there,
Yeah,
and so I want to fix that and do a couple things to it. But no, I don't want to restore it too much. I just really want to fix the fender.
yeah, yeah. No,
That
that
the
you
little
know,
use on it is gives indications it's been used. You know, the guy who had it, he rode it to Daytona at least one time, back and forth from Miami to Daytona and to the Key West poker run too. That bike is the most uncomfortable bike I've ever ridden in my life. Crazy uncomfortable, crazy fast. It's 98 inches.
yeah,
It's all you do to stay on it, and it's just not ergonomically fun.
yeah. That seat didn't look too comfortable.
No, the seat and the pegs and everything is just. I mean, and you have to like. I mean, I can ride it because I've been riding this bike forever. But somebody that doesn't know how to ride a motorcycle like that, you couldn't ride it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure.
It's it's not like some jockey shifts you feel comfortable telling somebody, here, go ahead and ride it. But
Yeah,
that one is crazy.
yeah,
is
yeah,
that a foot clutch too?
Yeah, it's foot clutch, hand shift.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bill Streeter is a really good painter.
Yeah,
You know, when we were in our old shop, when we had our big open house, Bill came and he did a whole mural on our garage door, on our service department door on the inside.
yeah,
And it was like a 12-foot door. And
uh-huh.
he did a whole mural, of his typical
Yeah.
wizard kind of stuff. I mean, he did the whole mural in about maybe 3 or 4 hours
He
that
did.
day. Yeah.
You don't still have that.
No,
it's-
it's funny. When we sold the building, I really wanted to, if I wanted to take that door, but I don't know what I would have done with it. It was so big. And the guy that bought the building turned it into just a body shop, and he ended up just painting over the door. I said, "Why
Yeah.
you do that?" You know?
apparently he's pretty boring to paint
Yeah.
over that door.
Yeah, it's too bad we didn't have a picture of that.
I know. I just gonna say it's
Yeah.
kind of a needle in a haystack for me to upload a picture
Yeah.
quick. But
Sometime we'll find a picture and I'll send it to you.
All
Did-
right.
did Bill Streeta paint all of Lou's bikes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eddie Trotta told me, I told him he had the gas tanks, and he told me the reason he had so many gas tanks is he would make the gas tanks mount the same, so he could just change the gas tanks and ride a different bike.
Oh, no kidding.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you-
And the yellow bike has mounts on it for upsweep pipes or these pipes too. That was kind of the same reason.
I wonder what happened to all those gas tanks.
I don't know. They were there. It wasn't too long ago, but somebody went and got all his space. They went, they hustled him or somebody, or who knows. There's three sides to every story, but
Yeah, right. I know.
all that stuff is, I guess, gone. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not. Everybody else is looking for it. I'm not going to looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right, Warren. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else, anything else you want to plug, or tell people they can follow you on Instagram?
Instagram, Comic Metalsmith, or my name, Warren Lane, will come up. That's it. I don't sell anything, just dreams.
Yeah, but you make dreams for people.
Yeah, I can make things, and I can turn something from your imagination into reality.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I watched a lot of your videos and everything, and you just do a great job.
Thank you.
Especially all this old Bobber stuff that you're doing and choppers.
yeah,
It's
here's
awesome.
another picture. Here's
You
another. This is a cool little panhead.
Yeah, it's a knucklehead now.
Oh, he switched it out.
Yeah, I bought that bike from somebody. Well, actually, I was building a bike for somebody, and he gave me that bike in trade. And then he told me to go buy him a 64 Panhead motor for his chopper. I said, "Why don't you take the one out here?" He said, "No." And I said, "Okay." So I took it out and sold it to him.
Yeah.
I did. And then I put a knucklehead in it.
Jeez.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Warren. Well, thank you very much for coming on
Okay.
today.
All right, soon. I'd love to talk to you guys sometime soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Hey,
sounds
listen.
good.
I'll talk to Dan Totes too. But Laconia, if you're interested in coming up, to Laconia, just so you know, this is the 100th anniversary of Laconia, and we're doing a big deal up there. We've got we booked 100 suites
Oh
at a
yeah.
beautiful resort up on top of a mountain. It's an
Okay.
hour away from Laconia, and if you're interested in coming, you know, just let me know. I mean, it's a beautiful place. We've got rides we're gonna do each day, all up through the mountains. I mean, it's a really nice deal. If you're
Okay.
interested, let me
I'll
know.
talk, yeah, I'm definitely interested because that's what part of what I want to do is spend a little bit of time in New England for the summer, combine it.
Yeah, come on up here
Yeah,
for some cooler weather.
right,
Okay.
for
Awesome.
sure.
All right.
All
Great
right.
talking to
All right. Thanks for coming on today,
you.
Warren.
Thanks,
Bye.
Warren.
All right. Bye. All right, guys. So that was our show today with Warren Lane. We want to give a huge shout out to Indian Motorcycles and Law Tigers for sponsoring Chopper History, so we can keep this going and keep bringing you guys stuff.
I have a couple of bikes for sale. I have a 2000 Softail that I just did the motor on. It's a 95-inch motor, basically a stock Softail custom. Got a 95-inch motor. Nice little bike, real nice rider. Got fresh paint on it. Basically needs nothing. The 6500, if anybody's interested. And I've got a 92, I believe it's a 92 FLHS, a bagger. That's a real nice bike. It's real clean. I've got that one for sale. And I've got an FXR too. I got an 85.
I think it's an 86.
No, it's an 85.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, 85 FXR, basically stock, but real clean. Got a fresh paint job that I did, a Ghost Flames. It's a nice bike, real nice, clean bike. So I've got that one for sale too. So if somebody's looking for, a nice rider, give us a call.
Yeah, we got a couple different options.
Yeah.
I just want to mention to you guys too that we kind of, I know we don't normally do this, we fly by the seat of our pants, but I actually have people scheduled for the next couple weeks. So next week we are going to have Danger Dan. So
Oh,
Danger,
boy.
yeah, he's actually committed to it.
Wow.
So Danger is who I rode to Arizona with. I can't say enough great things about him. Just a cool guy. So that should be a really good show next week. And then the following week, which I think there might be a week in between. I think I'm missing a week. But anyway, April 20th, we're going to have Kyle Petty on. So that should be a really good episode where we're going to talk about the Kyle Petty ride, which will be the following week. So make sure you guys tune in and share our posts, comment, like, give us a thumbs up, all of that, so that we can keep bringing you guys Chopper History every week. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything, feel free to send us a DM. I think that's it. You got anything else, Dad?
Did we get on the list? Say hello to people that are watching?
No, but we can actually, because we
Yeah.
haven't done
Yeah,
that.
no, we
'cause
haven't
I
done it
haven't
all.
been
We've got
here
a
to
big long
yeah,
list.
to monitor this.
Yeah, really. Here we go.
Let's see.
Mike Drago, Matt French, Ed
Ed-
Hang.
Yeah, Uncle
Ed,
Alan.
is Ed the photographer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Ed,
Yeah.
if you're listening, text me or message me. My brother Alan, Big
Dennis.
D,
Yeah.
Walt. Bobby Seega.
Oh, hi, Bobby. Sorry, that's why
Bobby
I couldn't
Seega
answer your
Jr..
phone call earlier.
Jim Kelly, Neil Foster, Mike Young, Seth,
Mike Drago, Dennis
Yeah.
Freem,
uh,
Mike from Fall River,
yeah,
Mike Young. Don't forget it's opening day. Yes, it is. It's
Yeah.
opening day today for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
It's a cold one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. It said bring your winter coat.
Yeah.
Greg Snyder. Hey, Greg. We just saw Greg. Tim Gibbons. Hey, Tim. Pedro the Engraver. Yeah. And
Milts.
let's see. Who else we got here? Oh.
Jack.
Yeah.
Tom Levins.
Yeah. Tom. Okay.
Andrew
Tom.
from Long Island.
Yeah, we had a lot of listeners today.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys once
Gary
again
Raphael.
for
Yeah.
tuning in.
Yeah.
And we will be back next week. Like I said, we have Danger Dan on for next week. So it should be a comical, interesting show. He just rode the Pan America down the whole entire coast of, or not even coast, but South America, which looking at a map is really far. I think he said it was 11,000 miles.
Wow.
So should be a good story, good episode. So make sure you guys tune in next week. And once again, thanks to Indian Motorcycles and Law Tigers for sponsoring us.
Troy Hallquist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Troy just bought a bike from us that he's going to redo with our help.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.